in China have done here. And I don't know anything about Southeast Asia, so I'm actually here to learn and actually learn a lot. But I spent about a decade, 10 years in China, and flying on and off. So I'm here to share with you what I've learned in China and how I see the opportunity for investor and entrepreneur from China and cross-border perspective. So let me quickly give you a broad view of what Cherubic is. So Cherubic is actually a C stage of VC fund focused on anything before Series A. So from angel to C. We have 3 offices in San Francisco, Beijing, and Taipei. I was from Taiwan. And right now we have over, actually, I just had 3, so 48 companies, 50% in China, 30% in Taiwan, Hong Kong. Actually, I recently did 1 deals in Singapore, so it's my first step to Singapore. So 30% in East region, and the region, and then about 20% in Silicon Valley. So like Hong Kong, I have portfolio company Simon from Frenzu. We do a 3D mobile social gaming. It's really cool. You should give it a try. Just search on Frenzu. And among the 45 companies, we have collectively raised 100 million for the further funding. Among 45 companies, for those I invested before 2014, 70% receive VC funding. And fattest one have moved from C stage to Series C. Actually, 3 Series C, 7 Series B. So they are growing very fast. There's a lot of activity going on. And among the other companies, we have a total of 2,500 employees among all these companies. And here I'd like to give you a few ideas what Cherubic is investing. So the first company is in Beijing, a company called Dream Castle. So Dream Castle is like, you can consider him as a Hello Kitty of China. So we initially was a designer, graduate from Tsinghua University. Tsinghua is like MIT in Beijing. And then this designer created this very cute little fox. And today the company funded in 2010, and today we have 150 people. Each year we sold 2.2 million stuffed animals a year, 2.5 comic book, the fixed comic book, not the online, a year through the bookstore. So they are right now the largest cartoon character and animation platform in China. We also have about total of 7 cartoon characters. And we have over 20 million active users, meaning the user buy at least 2 merchandise of our products. So we have over 20 million of that. Another company called Pinkoi. So Pinkoi, you can see it as a Etsy of Asia. So we are a marketplace for designer. The company is actually based in Taipei, funded by a former employee from Yahoo headquarters. So he went to CMU, went to spend 5 years in Yahoo, and then because he's really passionate about designing goods, when he was in the States, he goes to farmers market every weekend looking for good design stuff, and then eventually he wants to do something to help Asia designers to sell their products worldwide. And up to date, we have over 20,000 designers selling their products on our platform, and we're going to launch our Tokyo office later this year. Third company is a very interesting company. It's a company called Tienge. So right now they are the largest live video community. So you can imagine it will be a real-time based video platform where everyone can come here, register as a user. So you have a TV channel, so you can perform everything in real-time basis. So for example, if you are an English teacher or you are a chef, you want to share how to cook spaghetti, you can come here and then perform in real-time basis. And business model is purely virtual item. So for example, if I see someone who is doing, singing great job, and then I want to send a virtual flower to him. And this company, we have 250 million users. Every day, concurrent users over 1 million. It's really, and I grew the company from 2 people to today over 1,000. Zap, you probably see this company. It's a company based in Los Gatos. It's a US company. If you go to the Apple Store, we are the top-selling wearable for golf and tennis and baseball. The founder was a former product manager of MacBook Pro in Apple, and later joined Joban. So these are a few examples of the Cherubic's portfolio across different countries, and we're really fortunate to be endorsed and invested by lots of top tiers VCs in Silicon Valley, in China, and in Japan, including Sequoia, GGV, NEA. So yeah, just a quick background of myself. So before investors, I was a tennis player. I ranked number 40 in the world, a junior tennis player. And then I co-founded 6 companies in Taiwan, China, and Hong Kong. And right now I'm focused, I continue to fund companies, but I continue to find good company to help. So Cherubic is really like trying to be the best partner for the early stage investors, and then share what we have learned, what we have failed, and I think a lot of lessons are very reasonable, variable to startups. So here, I think today I'd like to share with you a few interesting business model where you probably don't see it in Silicon Valley, but become really, really successful. And then I think those are the lessons I will share with you. If you are really interested to come to China, or start out in China, or find partners in China, you probably have a different angle. You probably think in a different ways or a different perspective. So these are the 4 companies that listed in US, and you probably heard Tencent. But there are other 3 companies like Qihoo, YY, and VIP Shop is growing really, really fast. So this is the stock price chart happening in the last 12 to 18 months. So you can see every single company except Tencent. Tencent is the creator of WeChat, the largest mobile messaging network in China. Because the market cap is already too big, so it's one time. But the rest, you can see that YY grow 5 times in the past 12 to 18 months. Qihoo is growing 3 times. And let me share with you some of their products. You will be really amazed. So Qihoo, what they do. So this guy, Mr. Zhou. So one day he was like, so everyone is, buying the enterprise software. He said, why cannot enterprise software be free? So that's the concept. So he built something and they started to raise money, just give antivirus away. So all of a sudden, within 2 to 3 years, they have over 200 million users installing their software. So they become the largest so-called internet traffic in China. So Baidu is actually in trouble because of this guy, because people don't use their antivirus, and then it's sitting on your desktop 24/7, and that's really become like a portal. And later on, when they have the traffic, when they move to mobile smartphone platforms, they start to think, so what's the next thing I can do to provide value and for free? So they decided to launch a third-party Android application store. So in China, it's very funny because in China you cannot access Google Play. So there are, so we all suffer from finding softwares initially. There are actually over 30 to 40 different Android marketplace in China by startups. But right now, it's actually dominated by Qihoo and Tencent. So it's a very different model where you don't really see, you will never think in Silicon Valley, because that's probably something you will not do. The next one is a company called YY. So like I said, I invest a company who is the leading one, and they are actually the follower, but they are actually doing very, very well. So again, so what they do is similar to what the company I invested. So we provide real-time based video platform where people can perform in real-time basis. So you can actually see a lot of users coming here to listen to amateur sing and sing. You know, like it's not like professional. It's a lot of UGC contents. And some people even turn on the video, turn on the video when they are eating instant noodles. And people just come here to find people to talk. That's one of the main reasons because actually, if you look at all these fast-growing companies, their end user and target user are actually in the third-tier city, fourth-tier city users, not first-tier city user. First-tier city users are more sophisticated and more like the user in the US. But you know, third-tier city, fourth-tier city, their user behavior is completely different. You can easily see a huge difference where if you go to Yahoo, it's a portal. So it's very clean. You know, the category is very, very clear, and you won't see a lot of you know, useless messages. But if you go to like #1 portal, Sina.com, you actually see, you don't see a space actually. You see information all over the place. And I actually did market research when I go to third-tier city, fourth-tier city. And they said, oh, if I come to a website where I don't see much information, this website is not very richful in content. And they don't like to scroll down. They like to see everything on one page. So that's why the user behavior is very different. And the other thing is, all these companies, they also fulfill one needs where in the third-tier city, fourth-tier city, they don't have much entertainment. And there's no much, you know, like shopping malls and everything. So taking YY for example, in you know the company I invested, you know when you know daytime off and then it's become evening and people were like they don't turn on TV because their TV only has I don't know maybe 12 to 15 channels and maybe you know like government owned channels. So all the teenagers, all the you know white collar users all come to internet to look for contents. So that's why you see a lot of very interesting contents like YY or you know like other services where it's become so popular and because of the market size. For the first city, I would say maybe 150 millions, but there are another 1.2 billion where you address. So you know. When startups think about China, especially the local startups, they tend, I mean, all their mind is thinking, what kind of services I can fulfill to those third-tier city, fourth-tier city users, not the first-tier users. You know, it's very funny. We had a funny talk about Chinese internet user. Chinese internet user, people in the first-tier city don't pay. People in the third-tier city, fourth-tier city pay. So you see the mobile gaming company, you won't believe that the ARPU is like 3 times of the first-tier city. First-tier city is all looking for something free. They are more sophisticated. I want you know free service and all that. So I think this. So like I think startup here and you know user here is hard to imagine, but I think it's worthwhile to take a look what they offer, and you'll be really amazed. Like you know the way Chinese startup innovate. It's very different. So I think there's another trend in the startup landscape in China. Actually, when I first went to China, when I talked to you know entrepreneurs, usually the first slide they would say, "I'm the Chinese version of you know Google, Chinese version of Yahoo, Chinese version of everything." But right now, the first you know. Whenever you know, when we talk about we had this conversation and we talk about oh, so what's your model and then is there any comparables? Like 90% of them were like, no, we are not like the US model. We are the right model for Chinese users. So that's a very different mentality, and I think you have evolved for the past 5 years. So couple examples I like to share with you, and the next two are actually, you know, the company I invested. So Xiaomi, I'm sure everyone knows. the cell phone the so-called affordable smartphones selling only on the internet, and they are doing an exceptionally job. And second company I like to share is very, very interesting company. So Photoball, it's actually a photo collage application. And the company launched this application in July 2012. So it was already a time where there's maybe millions of photo-related applications. And after we launched, so it's a photo collage and then make your collage into a magazine. So only less than 18 months, they ranked #1 photo app in over 40 countries. And up to date, we have accumulated over 120 million downloads, 22 million MAU, 5 million DAUs. Most impressively, we spend zero money on marketing. And when I met with this founders, he's a serial entrepreneur. So I asked him, "What do you want to do?" He said, "I want to do photo applications." I said, "Why? I mean, there's so many photo applications." He said, "Because camera is the application where every single mobile phone user will use, and they use most frequently. And I think there is a lot of things we can disrupt." I said, "But there's some competitors that say, no, I just pivot." So it's actually, I started to see Chinese entrepreneur startup starting to use the term pivot. Because before they were like, "Oh, I built something and then we launch and then we quickly raise money and then we buy users and see what happens." And because Chinese user has a huge market, so you can easily get to 5 million and see what happens next. But I think they started to learn the way US startup evolved. So they started to use pivot. So they actually try about 8 different apps. And each app lasts than 5 weeks. And the 9th, bang, just hit. So it's a very interesting experience where it's my personal experience where we see people started to evolve. And if you see the last line, it's a Beijing-based company, but only 30% of the traffic is in China. 70% is outside China. And only in Thailand, we have close to 2 million daily active users, which we don't know why. But yeah. Okay, and Zap, it's a wearable, it's a company based in Los Gatos, but believe it or not, the technology and R&D center is actually in China. Yeah, it's actually a Beijing team founded by a Microsoft scholar. And this is another thing where I think these two, including Affordable and Zap and Xiaomi, I know all these people very well. And then, I still remember the first few conversations we had was all, how do we go global? How do we go global? How can we penetrate users outside? How can we, go to Southeast Asia? So I think the startup mentality is completely different in China. And I think the key reason was because, the last page where not only there's a lot of company successfully going IPO in the US, but they also successfully penetrate into, overseas market like Qihoo and Tencent, have tackled into Southeast Asia and Greater China. So there's probably not running out of time, but so there's a few lessons I'd like to share with you. If you are a entrepreneur or investors who wants to go to China, make sure that BAT plus Q, so Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, and Qihoo, they are the king of almost everything. So they do everything. Although they have their core business, but I'm sure because I think there's a lot of story shared here in the Silicon Valley about Chinese competition. So they are everywhere. So for startups and investors, you want to make sure you try to understand what their roadmap is and understand what are the areas they might not pay attention to and try to go from there. Will be easier. Otherwise, if you do something that, for example, if you don't do something that try to penetrate and try to become a mobile ad network, then Baidu and Qihoo will just smash you because that's your core business. Fast evolution. Well, the reason why I actually startup in China, execution is a key because you won't believe like let me take an example. Groupon. When Groupon emerged and then Groupon almost close to IPO, there are over 2,000 players, Groupon players in China. Like everyone, oh, I want to do Groupon, I can do Groupon. So one time I still remember like every VC spending different Groupons, but all failed. Only one left actually. So startup in China is very different because if you go to Beijing, if you go to Tsinghua, anyone with technical background all want to start up. Okay, all of them want to start because they said, hey, my classmates become a billionaire because he founded Qihoo. My classmate founded Baidu. So like that gives them a lot of confidence to start up. And also there's a lot of I think I call it intelligence because okay, sorry. But anyway, let me finish that. So a lot of actually Chinese students came to study here. So they often go back to share a lot of intelligence. So they learn a lot. So I think that's one thing I like to share. The last thing is U.S. model and U.S. team, pure U.S. team. I mean, no local partners. It's really hard to succeed in China. And also because there's a lot of regulations. So actually I started to give advice to U.S. companies who want to go to China. Acquiring or investing a team is probably the best strategy to go to China instead of going yourself because there's already too much failure examples. So anyway, so that's about because I'm running out of time. But if anyone who's interested in China, going to China, or how I help Asia company go to US or US vice versa, you can always approach me through my email. Thank you.